We take the stress out of the claim for the individual, and we also deal with all the paperwork on their behalf. We know what we can claim, so they can sit back and sort of relax. They haven't got to keep chasing a loss adjuster. They'll get an update from me, so they know exactly what's going on, and then they're in safe hands because we're FCA regulated as well.
Okay.
So people got peace of mind.
Hi, and welcome to this week's Hemmingfords podcast. Today I'm here with Neil from INS Property Claims, and he's going to talk to us about the importance of having a loss assessor and the difference between a loss assessor and a loss adjuster. Blimey, that's a bit of a tongue twister.
It is.
Hi, Neil. So, talk to us a bit about your background and how you became a loss assessor.
When I left school, which is a long time ago, I done my apprenticeship in building, which was 5 years, where I became a carpenter and joiner, and then a general foreman, done my supplementary studies, ONC, HNC, and also done an extra qualification in formwork and concrete construction. So I used to deal with substructure and superstructure. In the 90s, I retrained and ended up going into finance and accounting and finance, and ended up at a few companies while I was training. Ended up at Guy Carpenter and Marsh, which is MMC, which deal with insurance. So that's how I sort of got a background in what I do and how I link the two. Because it was something I always wanted to do, was run my own business. And when I was looking to run my own business, I was seeing what best suited me and what I could do.
Yeah.
And then when I come across loss assessing, it was a bit of both. It was the construction side, which I was trained up in, and also the insurance side, which again, I have a background in it. So for me, it was a perfect choice. And that's why I sort of love what I do.
Amazing. And for the viewers that don't really know what a loss assessor is or does, I mean, what is a loss assessor?
Yeah, loss assessors help policyholders. We do exactly the same what a loss adjuster does, but we represent the policyholder and we represent them against the insurance company. So we complete the claim for the individual. We do all the background checks, all the claim procedures. We understand what's in the policy, and we represent them to what they're allowed to claim for under the policy. And we also complete reinstatement on their behalf as well. And what we do is, once we've done our own schedule and understand what's in the policy, we represent them figures back to the insurance company, and then we make an agreement. I deal with a loss adjuster on their side, and then once we've got an agreement, we can then start reinstatement.
Okay, great. And what is a loss adjuster on the flip side?
It's the opposite side to us, basically. They represent the insurance company, and they work for the insurance company, whereas we work for the policyholder, and then we meet in the middle, basically, layman's terms. Then we come together, we meet on site, and then we all go through the policy and what is included and what isn't included in the reinstatement.
Okay.
And then if obviously there's accommodation to be sorted, we'll look at that element, and then obviously the insurance company will approve it or not.
Yeah. So what is the benefit for a landlord or a homeowner of having a loss assessor?
Well, we take the stress out of the claim for the individual, and we also deal with all the paperwork on their behalf, and we deal with all the phone calls and all the chasing. And if they need accommodation, we will look into that element for them, or the disturbance allowance. So we know what we can claim, so they can sit back and sort of relax, even though it's a disaster to a degree. But we can help them, migrate the losses and help them through that. And without a little bit of the stress on them. They haven't got to keep chasing a loss adjuster. They'll get an update from me weekly, sometimes a bit sooner, depends what type of claim it is. So they know exactly what's going on, and then they're in safe hands because we're FCA regulated as well.
Okay.
So people got peace of mind.
Yeah. And what are the sort of types of problems that you get involved in? Could you give some examples of cases?
Yeah, escape of water is one of the biggest sort of claims ongoing. It's got to be one of the biggest. Obviously, people experience floods and leaky bathrooms, kitchens. Yeah. So that's the biggest part of what we do. Okay. We also get involved with fire claims and also impact damage claims, which are they're a little bit more rarer than the escape of water, as you can imagine, but they still go on. And I get involved with subsidence, which I do enjoy, which is a very long term with subsidence, because once you've got rid of the calls, you have to wait until the ground's resettled.
So subsidence is like when the property goes like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you get cracks appear.
Right.
So basically what it is you could have cracks all appear. And it could be because there's trees or the drainage has affected it, or other circumstances. So what we do is, once the causes have gone, if we can get rid of that, we have to wait for 4 seasons, normally a year, until the ground resettles and the property then stabilises.
Wow.
And then once it's stabilised, then we can look at reinstatement. So that's why reinstatement does, for subsidence, takes a lot longer.
Is it, I mean, it's sort of hard to say, isn't it, depending on what the subsidence cause is, or like the cause of the subsidence rather, but how long does it take? Is it 4 seasons? That's like a whole year.
It depends on the weather. If it's clay soil, it's got to rehydrate to push the building back up. And that, if there's no rain, that's not going to happen overnight. I've had properties where they've actually gone above where they should be level-wise, and so you have to wait until it all settles down, basically. So it can take a year, it can take 2 years. I've known cases to take 3 years.
Wow. What can people expect during the process of using a loss assessor? Is it sort of dependent on the type of damage there is? And yeah, when do you instruct a loss assessor such as yourself?
The claim will start at the beginning exactly the same way. We will go through the paperwork with you. I always send an email to what you expect the loss adjuster to ask: how long you've lived at the property, how long you've owned the property, how many people live there, the general questions, so I help you through them. And then once that's done, we can see what type of claim it is, if it's escape of water, or if for instance, you've not had the escape of water found, we can do leak detection to identify the issue. So all claims are all different. So, and that brings in the duration of what the claim is, because fire claims can take a lot longer than escape of water. But escape of water and flood damage ones, they need drying out. So depending on how long the property takes to dry, again, it all depends on the length of time. So they're all similar in a way, but they've all got their own little differences.
Yeah. For example, if I had a flood in my kitchen, for example, what would be the sort of steps you'd do to ensure I get my kitchen back to its glorious self?
Well, once I have a look at the policy, the first thing I normally look for is if you've got matching items or not, which means, in some policy wording, it is clear as day what they write. It says if you have a table and chairs and one chair is damaged, we will replace the one chair regardless of match. So I look for that, because if the whole kitchen is damaged, that's fair enough, we will replace the kitchen. But if only parts of it is damaged and one part of it is undamaged, then I've got to look at a match for the kitchen. Right. So I understand in the policy, then I can inform the policy holder of the difficult thing I've got to do to try to match.
Would there be, so for example, if only part of my kitchen was damaged and the other part was fine, and I didn't have that matching policy, if it was available, could they match it? And that would be great. But if it wasn't available, I'd have to sort of go for something as close to. Is that what you're saying? Yes,
you would have to go close to, okay. But some insurers do 50% contribution. In other words, they will pay for the undamaged bit, 50% contribution.
Okay.
So, but lucky enough, Howdens do a lot of kitchen ranges, so we can sort of get very good matches, but sometimes old kitchens you can't.
Yeah.
So then that's when we asked the insurance company to see if they would do a 50% contribution.
What's been one of your biggest success stories for a client with a load of damage and you've helped them get it back to what it was, if not better?
I had a claim in Eastbourne, and the lady, she was 84. Her husband passed during the subsidence, so it was quite a difficult claim. And that claim, we had to go to the financial ombudsman with our complaints, because we put a complaint in with the insurance company. They then ruled in their own favour, so we went to the ombudsman who ruled in our favour. So that was a very good, satisfying claim, because obviously we got to do what we wanted to do, and the ombudsman could see that we was correct in our findings. So they're ones are my sort of, I do get a little bit of a buzz out of them ones, because it's satisfying.
Yeah.
And it's happy to see the client's face when we won and we're going to do what we expected to do is very rewarding.
Yeah, I can imagine. No, it sounds like you really do care about what you do, and to see that sort of outcome that works in their favour, it must be really lovely to see. So yeah, amazing. Thank you, Neil. It's been a pleasure to have you on, and we'll see you next time.